Hello lovelies, thanks for stopping by. This video is all about problems and solutions for cloth menstrual pads. So the first problem is leaking off of the top or the back of the pad. So let's say for instance you had an 8-inch pad. This one is called Shark Week from the website. And let's say you snapped it around your underwear and you were experiencing leaks. The first thing you could do is to increase the length of your pad. So if you went from 8-inch to a 12-inch at an extreme, you could even go to 9 or 10-inch, and depending on when you were using it. If you were using it for overnight, you definitely want to try a 12 or 14 if you were in the 10-inch range. And that just serves to catch more of the flow. If you are still experiencing leaks on a long pad like this, you could ask me to custom make you a pad that was longer in the area that you were leaking. So if you're always leaking from the back, then you would ask for an asymmetrical, larger back. So that's one of the solutions. The next solution that is quite popular is leaking onto the wings. So if you take a look at this pad, when it's snapped around your underwear, it's very easy for the flow to just keep going over the wings. It's kind of a path of least resistance. It'll just go around. If you get the exposed core pads and you take a look at it from the side, it's producing some resistance. So the flow will flow to the side, and then it's the easiest for it to just keep soaking along the core. And then eventually it'll go down to the wings, but not as quickly as if it were just a flat knit cloth pad like this one. So exposed core is your best bet if you're having leaks onto the wings. Next problem is leaking through to the underwear, which is a popular problem if you are using it for an overnight pad, you are a new mama, or you are using it for incontinence. Incontinence is a big issue because the urine is exactly the same consistency as water, and water soaks through a lot quicker than blood, which is a bit thicker. So if you were to try the polyurethane laminate pads, which are all white on the back, it would make it a lot more waterproof. It means that the fluid cannot get through to your underwear. So the worst that could happen is the core would get soaked, the top fabric would get soaked, it would start to go to the wings, but it will not go through to your underwear. If you have a problem with leaking with one of the PUL pads and it's going off onto the wings and it's soaking and saturating, it means you need to go up in absorbency or length. This is pretty much an indestructible pad. Next problem is excessive sweating. So if you find that a lot of fabrics, especially synthetic fabrics, make you sweat a lot, it's very uncomfortable. It can make you feel like your flow is heavier than normal when it's just actually sweat. So a pad to try is a PEEK or PK pad. Feels like swimsuit material, it's very soft. It's the same fabric they use for performance sports wear. So it's designed to wick moisture away from your skin. It is more expensive and slightly less available than the other fabrics in my shop. So it does make the pad a little bit more expensive, but you get what you pay for. You pay a little bit more, you get better quality and better results. This one is called Find Your Zen. It does have some adult language on it, but it's very thin. This one is a heavy pad and it's very thin. Next problem is if you have gushing. The best fabric that I recommend if you have gushing is the Minky. So it's a very plush pad that has a lot of surface area increase. So the dots and just the extra fluff, there's a lot more surface area to absorb the flow. So if you're a heavy flow person, or you get quick gushes at one time, if you paired the Minky with the PUL backing, this is just gray fleece. But if you had the PUL backing on this Minky pad, it would make it a great option for heavy bleeders or gushers. Next problem with stains. If you're a gal that doesn't have a lot of time, doesn't want to spend a lot of time scrubbing stains, the Minky and the Peak are the best. They resist stains. The Minky, I have a white Minky pad that is very easy to clean just because it resists stains, and so does this guy. If you have a problem with odor or yeast infections, the Bamboo Charcoal Fleece pads are the best. They're antimicrobial, so they resist yeast infections, and the charcoal that's embedded in the pad will reduce the odor that you could smell. So these pads are really great. This one that I have here is Exposed Core Bamboo Charcoal Fleece, sorry. And it has a PUL on the back of the pad, and it's a heavy flow. So this pad is amazing for heavy flow, prone to yeast infections, mama cloth, incontinence pads. Even if you're slightly petite and you're using it for an overnight pad, it's a great all-in-one pad. And it's a really cute print. So that's that. If you have bunching caused between the snapped widths, so your pad keeps looking kind of bunched and rippled, and you're getting leaks off onto the side, or you're getting leaks because this isn't absorbing as much because it's all bunched, I can do a narrower width. I usually have about 2.5 inches snapped width that I could do a 2-inch or a 2 1/4 inch. If you find that you're saturating the center area and you want it to be wider, I can also do 2 3/4 inch or 3-inch snapped width. So all you have to do is get in touch with me and I will do that for you. And last but not least, I wanted to touch upon this kit that I sell in shop. So this is the medium-sized starter kit, and it's a 7-piece. You get 2 light flow 10 inches, 3 moderate flow 10 inches, 1 12-inch heavy flow with fleece on the back, and 1 12-inch heavy flow with PUL on the back. So this set is fantastic for starters, and I've called it a medium size just because it starts off with 10-inch and then it finishes with 12. So if you were a smaller sized lady or you were a teen, you might want the small size kit, which is 5 8-inch pads and 2 10-inch pads. Or if you were a larger lady or you wanted larger coverage, you could get the large size kit, which starts off with 5 12-inch pads and includes 2 14-inch pads. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for stopping by.